Would you just treat your gear with respect, you idiot? Hey now, Rob here, Rob School of Music. In this quick video, we're gonna go over a short compilation of the stupid stuff everyone does with their musical gear and then wonders, why is my guitar broken? Why did my cable stop working? And all that dumb stuff. Check it out.
See, there's so many musicians out there, they don't know how to set up the guitar. They don't know a lot of the ins and outs, they just know how to play. But there's more to it. If you want to be a professional musician, there's lots of little things you need to know. So today we're gonna talk about one of the most important, commonly incorrectly done things out there. And that would be how to coil your cable. Now this applies to an instrumentalist, guitar, bass, keyboard. You're gonna plug your instrument in. But even if you're a singer, you got your microphone cable, if you're setting up the PA, if you're the sound guy, the monitor guy, these are all things you need to know. So here's a couple of ways not to coil your cable. And you have to understand, inside of this cable, there's wire and there's shielding around it. And when you wrap that cable incorrectly, you're causing a degradation of that shielding, and eventually that cable is going to start, you're going to get interference. You're going to pick up what's going on, be it radio or static or other things that you don't want. So here's some wrong ways to do it. Ready? This is not an extension cord. We don't go over under. Never, ever, ever do we wrap an audio cable in that manner, okay? Second way not to do it is you don't just crumple it up. I know a lot of musicians out there, professional musicians, gigging musicians, open up their gig bag and it's just a rat's nest of cables. Hot rod, I'm talking to you, bro. All right, here's the right way to do it. Ready? We're gonna take our cable, we're gonna hold it, I'm gonna hold it in my left hand, it's my dominant hand. And with my right hand, I just twist it, coil it underneath. A little bit more, twist it underneath. A little bit more, twist it underneath. Now you see how it's starting to fight me? That's okay, that means this cable just needs to get straightened out. So what you can do before you start, throw it on the ground, take it, and just start to let it unwind in your hand, okay? As I do this, the other end that you can't see on the floor is starting to twist. Watch, when this end comes up, it's gonna twist on me. See it spiraling? Because we're undoing any kinks inside of it. Now we can take that end that we started with. Again, twist it underneath, twist it underneath, twist it underneath. Boom. Uniformly wrapped cable, okay? We don't tie knots. We don't go over under.
That's how the back of the headstock on a PRS guitar or a Les Paul or an SG, anything with this tilted headstock, that is a real easy point to break in that guitar. So here's something you're never gonna do. Don't take your instrument and just sort of lean it up against the coffee table and then go walk away. Because guess what's gonna happen? Inevitably, you're gonna trip on the cable, it's gonna get tangled, something's gonna happen and that guy's gonna fall. And when it falls, that's where it's going to break. So don't do that. And when you have these type guitars, they have what's called a set neck. This is inside the body, that's glued in there. So if it breaks here or here, you're screwed. And guess what? Even if it's a Tele or a Strat with a straight neck like that and a bolt-on, if that neck breaks or the headstock breaks, it's still a really expensive repair and the structural integrity of the instrument is gonna go down, the resale value is gonna go down, and you've completely wasted a perfectly good guitar. Don't lean it up against stuff. When you're done with it, put it in one of three places. In the case, in a stand, or keep it in your hands. And you know what? While we're on the topic of where you store your guitar, when you're not using it, put it in the case. You see, that's made out of wood. And a lot of guitars, unless they're really, really high end, they're not dried out properly during the manufacturing process, which means there's still a lot of moisture inside of that wood. And what happens with moisture? It expands and it shrinks. And when the temperature changes, which if you live here on the East Coast, that happens pretty drastically 4 times a year, that guitar is going to start to change. The strings are going to come higher off the neck, the action is going to be messed up, all sorts of things are going to happen, making it difficult to play. A great way to avoid that is store it in the case, in a cool, dry place. Put a humidity pack inside of it, put a dehumidifier in the room. You got to figure out your room, but take good care of your instrument. Don't lean it up against the wall, put it in the case properly, keep it humidified, and you might have a chance of not having to fight it every time you try and play it.